wants tens of millions of merits. Here is the ugly truth: it costs billions of mana. Most players underestimate merits farming, and I'll break down exactly how much you're going to need, how long it takes, and how to plan for it. Now here is the thing: this season I actually have like 12 million merits, but I spent like 200 mana. The main reason I have only 20 million merits is I didn't actually do any kind of merits farming, and everything was counted on what I'm going to face on the battlefield. But I start thinking that I'm not doing it the smart way, because there is a very nice pet skills you can buy from the merit shop and etc, and you can get tons of merits. And at the same time, the only thing you need is just having somebody to do some extra merits farming. And by merits farming, I also call the defense positions where you have advantages over the players and etc. But let's talk about the mana cost. So far, again, no merits trade and etc, 12 million merits. I spent this season 200 million mana. And boy oh boy, by spending 200 million mana, that was just because I finished my troops, and I know I was knowing that we may never have fight again if I don't put the effort here. So for 200 million mana, I maybe make like around 4 or 5 million merits. So you can see how extremely how costly is the resource healing. Now right now I don't have anything in the hospital, just to show you, you know, something. Okay, I'm going to maybe make an attack here just with my cavalry. Okay, not this one, just to show you how much in form of numbers, because I really like to talk from point of numbers and just showing what I want to say, not like just blindly talk here and there. And right now I'm going to have at least maybe 100 tier 5 if I get tier 5 in the hospital. I'm not quite sure. Okay, I have like 52 cavalry, let's say it like 50. Just oh my god, okay, this is 52. I have to heal 2 and I have like 50. This from point of resource healing is 5.8k, and from there you can actually start scaling and to see how much is going to cost you to actually heal. For example, one legion get between 35 and 60k in the hospital. It depends if it's having some healing and etc. But at the end of the day, it's going to cost so much, especially if you're full tier 5. Now obviously I still have some tier 4 that most likely I'm going to push in the greatest heights, and all these tier 4 units is going to become tier 5, except donkeys. I really don't know why I have swordsman 1 3.4k, but anyway, everything here is going to become a tier 5, and from there is going to become the big pain from point of healing these troops. And I speak with some whales to actually ask them, okay, so what actually cost you to have a specific number of merits? Right now I'm in the MFD, so you know, I didn't actually speak with any of these bad boys that's having so much merits, but from other people, and it's just resource healing. There is a decent chunk of even money spent in the resources. Some people are having like 6-7 farms that they gather. Now, at the beginning I didn't actually understand it. I mean, if you have like 6 farms, how you can actually get the mana, because only your main castle can gather mana. I mean, if you want to be the most efficient, your main castle is going to gather mana, and at the same time your farms is going to gather the ore, the stone, and etc. And I didn't understand it quite well, but everything makes sense when you start purchasing mana. Now it can be mana from the store. Here we have like 2 million mana for 1.4k gems, and if you buy mana you're going to need the other 3 resources. So it starts making some sense why some people are having like 5, 6 or maybe 7, 8 farms. It's just the main account is buying mana and farming mana, and the other account is just gathering the other 3 resources there. But still, at the end of the day, this is absolutely crazy effort just to be able to get more merits, because let's be honest, we cannot have non-stop fighting the whole season. Maybe there were going to be seasons like this, and boy oh boy, enjoy this season as much as you can. If you have a season where you have decent amount of fights, just don't go AFK if you have the opportunity to fight there, because your next 2 season can be a farming season, which, you know, is going to give you some extra resources from point when you're fighting in hard KVK like this one. But yeah, it's just costing so much. It's just costing so much to get tons of merits, especially if you throw infantry, if you throw cavalry, especially the infantry. Well, the outcome of infantry is not that crazy. Yeah, you may see some crazy reports where somebody's, you know, sharing, oh my god, look what I did with my Goresh and Kuma. Brother, Kuma these days is extremely strong. I think he's the best infantry hero right now in Call of Dragons. Kuma alone is the best. I'm going to make a rank list for the infantry, but still, it's just crazy the amount of mana that is going in one season, and this is for a single player. And obviously, it comes to my head the question, am I budgeting my mana correctly? And yeah, you have to make a budget for your mana. Now, right now, I have a decent amount of mana. And again, the reason is I'm going to push for the city skin. I have like 1.8 billion mana, which, you know, is going to help me in the city skin. But at the end of the day, you just have to be careful with your mana. Still, resources, somebody can send you some resources, you know, from their farm or etc., but nobody can send you mana. Nobody. But what you can actually do, if you don't have that much mana to actually go for, and this is efficient tactics, and this is targeting weak marches, not random. Now, we have a new function in Call of Dragons when you go out with your legions. For example, I'm going to go with this 5 legion, and the moment you kill this target, for example, it automatically start attacking the next target. Now, the next target can be full HP Goresh Skogul, for example, if you're hitting infantry. So one of the things I'm doing is when I'm fighting, I grab the legions and I see, because I'm going to see the HP bar of the target, and I'm going to see what kind of heroes are there. So the moment I finish this target, I go for the next one and I see which one is more weak, which one is close to get defeated, because if the enemy legion have less troops inside, it's going to give a less counterattack. It's just going to be way more squishy, and the traits you're getting is way better. So this is one of the ways that you can be efficient on the battlefield from point of targeting the weak marches and not a random one. If somebody jump like blink infantry over you, I just move out from this place. I know the splash damage of the infantry is crazy. The game back in the days when I make my first video about the infantry, make improvements over the infantry, because it was the days when we was witnessing barricades. I mean, some people are going to remember these days. And it was like this infantry was basically something that like a chest with merits on the battlefield. You click on this chest and after 10 seconds, you have merits in your pocket. Obviously the times change by a lot from this one, but you have to be efficient on the battlefield. You basically have to target the weak marches, kill them, focus over the next weak march, and etc. Till you killing this weak march, one of the other marches that are full on legion and etc. is going to become a weak one. You can start targeting this weak march and actually take them out. So is you're wasting your resources in the bad traits? This is maybe going to be the main question you have to ask yourself when you go outside to actually fight. And when you see not that good reports, just look what kind of legions you're attacking. If there is one legion with Margaret Zeta on 20% and there is a full HP Margaret Zeta, maybe it's going to be a good idea to actually focus over the 20% Margaret Zeta and after this focus on the other one if there is nothing else you can actually hit. I mean, I'm speaking as a mage main. The majority of the time or last 1-2 seasons, the main target of everybody's infantry, especially if you're fighting against top alliances, is full with infantry. They're not stop sending infantry. You cannot even get close to the mages and marksmen just because so much infantry, and it's so slow to get killed. As a mage main, I think killing infantry become the most slow thing in Call of Dragons that exists. Now let's talk about the time investment. Expect weeks of non-stop activity, and yeah, this is one of the things that every player who want to be even not in top alliances, but if you want to be a top performer, there's going to be places or times that you have to put crazy effort in your whole gameplay, because you may first of all not see a fight like this in the next like 1-2 months, because yeah, sometimes the things finish for like 2-3 hours. 2-3 hours, you make the zone open, the gates open, you make one staff play, you kill everybody on the enemy side, they are building like 2 towers, and they just give it up over this zone. And it's like this till the end of the season. I witnessed like 2-3 seasons like this where we crush the enemy, and at the same time there is nothing like how to say it, no fun till the end of the season. Now some people are using this thing as you know, things to talk about. We're not going to fight because you did this and this, here your boring season or something like this. I don't think somebody care about this, but yeah, sometimes the seasons finish extremely fast, so you have to grab every opportunity you have to be present on the battlefield. This is going to boost the morale of the other people. When they see there is more legion on the battlefield, they may also join. From this to see like 3 people fighting against 30, and you're like, okay, I'm going to wait till they come to this choke point, maybe we gather more people or something like this. So you have to expect weeks of non-stop activity. And obviously when you're going, and this is something that I'm thinking right now, and this is when, because right now I'm going to push like 35 million for the city skin. So from 97 million, most likely I'm going to be 135 million. So I start feeling like a whale if I go and push for the city skin, which is going to happen. Definitely I'm going to go for the mage city skin, but still I'm going to have troops, and at one point I have to start thinking about my, how to say it, my stamina and how to manage my stamina, because at one point you're going to have troops but you're not going to have stamina. And I see especially some Krakens where they finish on the Goris Kogo stamina, they start sending Chakcha, Kewa, Ordo as a legion that is jumping in the fight, or Garward or Madeline, you know. When they just finish the good legions and no stamina and they still want to help, they are forced to actually go with extremely weak heroes, which, you know, for the enemies welcome it, because those legions are giving crazy amount of merit. So at one point you have to start thinking about stamina if you want to farm merits longer. I get this season one time that I finish my stamina with mages. Now it may sound crazy, but when the enemy is doing blink infantry, cavalry strike you, and so many things, it's just when your legion gets sent at home is full 10 stamina. If you do some reinforcement on specific amount of HP, it's going to cost you less stamina. But yeah, if you're in KvK where they non-stop are hitting you, you're going to finish stamina very, very fast. The other thing I want to talk about, especially if you want to get tens of millions of merits, is hospital management. Yeah, this is obvious one. Healing, planning, save, speed ups. And by saving speed ups, I don't say I mean don't like train more. Definitely save your speed ups for Brinks of War, or maybe okay, Brinks of War maybe it's not the best place to go for. This is the ego thing there in the Brinks of War, but city skin and things like this. So you have to ask yourself, are you just draining everything when you're doing the healing? Are you healing everything, or you heal something specific? Now in my case, I can share with you what I'm doing from point of healing. And first thing first, I'm healing first my Celestials. This is the first thing I do when I start do some healing, because my main power is Celestials. I'm League of Order, I'm Mage main, so Celestials is something that I want to. The second one, after I heal the Celestials, I do healing over the Vestals, tier 5 Vestals, just to point that, because they're giving 20% HP for 15 seconds and they do this every 3 seconds. So like 1-2 Vestals can heal your Celestials very nicely, and also healing, not healing, but giving HP to them also. Rest of the troops is something that I resource heal. Now infantry, since I have like 1 million infantry, I don't remember how much I actually have. Okay, this ranking, I have like 1 million infantry. They are tier 4, so for sure I'm just doing a resource healing over my infantry. So this is how I split the things. I spent elixirs over my tier 5 and I spent resources over my tier 4. Obviously the things with the donkeys, when you're sending donkeys in enemy direction, and you're like, just for the quest, which is crazy quest, I'm not gonna lie. If I go, okay, let me just, by the way, when you migrate, you have to start all these things all over, which is a little annoying. But from point of conquest achievements, you're going to have this one where you have to do some healing, which is absolutely crazy. Like 15 million healing to get one of these Yadra Amber, which is crazy. So some people are, you know, heal donkey, not some people, I think the majority of the people, exception is big whales and krakens, they can afford just to do some healing there. But yeah, this is also hospital management. This is what I do. I use elixirs over the tier 5 and I use resources over tier 4. Sometimes I use resources over my tier 5, especially when there is a fight that count, and it's extremely important we manage to break the defense. But yeah, just have a good hospital management. So yeah, this will be for this video, guys, just to get how to get like tens of millions mana. It's just going to cost you a lot. You need efficient tactic, like targeting the weak marches, not just random marches, and to be prepared with a lot of mana, and to expect non-stop activity. If you want, you cannot be an active and hit like 100 million merits. It just cannot happen in Call of Giant. Even if you're crazy well that non-stop sending troops, if you're not active, you're going to finish the how to say it, you're going to finish the stamina of your heroes. And again, it's going to be hard to hit this 100 million or 200. No, 200 is way too much. But let's say like 40 million million merits or 50 million merits. So yeah, this will be for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you want to add something. And yeah, see you in the next video.